Alright, part 7 now of this quasi-fresh start called Spellbreaker. Early objectives are going to be upgrading some of our gear, putting on some proper endgame components, and just slowly progressing through the campaign. Start off, do a Sylvaria run, see if we can get a couple of living rings. Alright, so let's actually go to Barrowhome. If we follow through on this quest line, we can get to Laria. And she will be... the third Sylvaria spawn point is by Laria's dwelling, so we can kind of two birds.
You strike me as somebody with
Now, these guys do have a good helm if we decide to change our mind and go hostile, but we're not going to do that.
All right then.
A blessed welcome. A blessed welcome.
So we have the Leafman Alpha Horn already. We're kind of good on that. This Devastating of Attack ring is decent, but we'll see if we can find something a little bit better, maybe. Wow, we've actually managed to get Nemesis status with beasts, which I guess shows you how relatively easy that is. So we may end up fighting Chupacabra at some point with 2200 DA. I'm not sure I fancy that. We might actually just run away from him. We do want to kill these plants to to get possible living rings. So yeah, the issue with Kuba specifically for this build is that he has relatively high cold res, and we're a cold damage build. He can hit reasonably hard, and we have very little DA, so there's a good chance that he'll be critting us, which is not ideal. We did forget to double check that we're killing enough of the pit creepers, but hopefully that's not an issue. We'll see. Well, that's 2 of the pit creepers. Skip the shrine for now. Alright, that should hopefully be 6 of the Ugdenbog pit creepers. So we can go do the totem. We might spawn Kuba. We also can use an XP pot just to move our leveling along a little bit faster.
A blessed well.
We've always had.
Okay, deal with Laria.
I don't know.
Alright, so she actually gives us a Wendigo Spirit, which is nice. It'll slowly get us closer to being able to craft Serenity. It's a shame it's a vine ring, but because of shadows is pretty much exactly what we want. No, we don't want to hang out with you, Kuba. That actually ended up being timed perfectly.
Have you dealt? The rabbit.
You've returned. You chose the altar of now that you have ever since the deep beneath you will find
Goradia speak at
Welcome in, Morndale. How's it going? We got Nemesis with Beasts just at the start of the stream. I left Kuba trapped in Silvaria's den. Good day, VII. I want better rings, and I want a little bit of fizz res, because 10% is pretty ridiculous, even for a fresh start. Alright, we got a Wendigo Spirit, that's level 92, never mind. I was gonna say, of the Drangul is always a nice, nice suffix, but level 92 item isn't really worth keeping. Druids of Thunder. I mean, am I going to play Panetti's? No, but I feel like anytime you get a class prefix on a MI medal, it's kind of worth saving regardless. Alright, triple rare Leaf Mane trophy, maybe for another character. But yeah, Demon. Let me find a place to sit to look at this. Impervious Living Ring. I mean, if Mending is unfortunate, Impervious is potentially very good in terms of giving me flexibility with resistances. Lots of the Wendigos. Alright, let's go in here. Alright, so Demonic of Selile's Malice, Vit damage, Vit decay, Elemental to Vit, OA, energy regen, okay, casting speed, CDR, that's all kind of normal. Yeah, we'll hang on to this for another build. Probably will never use it, but yeah, it's really nice, Morndell, but I have to have a build for it in mind. Okay, Janaxia hurts. She dropped me a Rune Casters of Frostbite, which again, save for another character. It's not a bad roll.
It appears yet not far.
Alright, we're not going to bother with that quest right now. We're going to go through the void and rescue Ulgrim. Piercing of Alacrity is not great, but it's like one good affix. I'm gonna skip the shrine. I just kind of want to get through here. Get my Stormheart. Shadow Strike makes us very mobile going through here. Farnsworth, thank you for the tier 1. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. killed them just before he was going to get his volcanoes off. Well, they're honored with Barrow Home. I don't think we care about their augments that much.
Is that you, Mother? An unfortunate accident, my Emperor. I'm of Ulgrim. Yes, hidden mount, I see. It's good to... You're right. Oh, to the north.
Yeah, definitely understand wanting some downtime from Grim Dawn. I kind of was getting to that point with some of the running out of build ideas, but now doing a few of these fresh starts is, or quasi-fresh starts, is kind of refreshing. Alright, we're out of this area, so we do need to get into Malmouth. I think that's good enough for now, though. Let's go back and do the Coven quests. And it's PoE 2 where you cannot evade one-shots if you don't have movement speed on your boots. Let me see this.
6,204%. Okay.
6,000. Okay. Yeah. That's lunacy.
Have you Googled everything?
All right.
Praise the
All right. So we are almost to level 100. Not exactly sure where I want to put points yet, so we'll hold off a minute. Maybe we'll actually just run to the next Rift Gate. Once we get level 100, we can reset the game and do some more farming. I've still been playing a bit of PoE 2. Just, I've been doing it off stream. This, thing is, like, normally Grim Dawn, you do, if you're leveling in 5 hours, it's basically a build a week, whereas, this is, I think, my 7th stream on this character, so the fresh start, results in spending a bit more time on, one character, some slower progression. So I haven't really needed a day off game in the same way. But, I mean, I'm also not super motivated to really try to grind endgame at this point in PoE 2. Because, like, you need good gear to be able to do maps. But then you also kind of need to do maps to get good gear. It's a bit of a cycle. Okay, that gets us level 100. I mean, PoE 2 is definitely missing some content, but there is a lot of stuff in it that's still really cool. I'm just waiting for Titan Quest 2 to have more than I think the 3 masteries it's going to have at the start of early access, which is just so disappointing. So, I mean, it's like, you know, you have 10 masteries, you have 36 classes you can play. You have 3 masteries, you have 3 classes you can play. So it's like 1/12 of the game. Even PoE 2 launched with 6 masteries and, or 6, whatever they call them. And 2/3 of the ascendancies for each, so that's like 12 out of 36, which is much more of a fair sample. I don't know, like having less than, you know, maybe, you know, 1/10 of potential available content in terms of the classes you can play at launch seems, to me, that's just super disappointing. But I will, I'm sure people will be streaming it. I'll check it out and we'll see. But for now, I'm probably going to bide my time. So, part of this quest to get Lokar, you need to find a blue zombie and escort him to a ritual circle. Your blade spirits and other, player skilled pets will kill him. So, apparently, we need the 15 cunning to be able to equip spectral longswords. Good to know. Okay, no, he's not here. He has a spawn location in this area, and then the third one is a little trickier to get to, but I haven't seen that Farnsworth. So our little skeletons drew these guys out, which is actually good. All right, now let's do this again. All right, we'll do. Let me save the link for future consumption. Done. Alright, there's the zombie. And we apparently drew a couple more enemies out. But the zombie will follow us. And once he shows up to this portal, we'll be able to get everything we need for when we are ready for Lokar, which we are not yet ready for Lokar. Good luck with that, Farnsworth. Alright, let's go back to town, look at our crafting materials. You're just trying to get me killed, saying I'm ready for Lokar. With this DA? No way. This Fizres? Just don't get hit as a melee build. That's always a optimal strategy right there. Yeah, absolutely. Alright, so can't actually dump anything off here. Alright, so Give me a second. I am going to load up Item Assistant just so that we can dump some of our goods for future characters. Obviously, we can't download anything from Item Assistant for this character since we're doing it SSF, but... Welcome in, Magi. How's the Dota treating you? All right. So we do actually, yeah, we need the Storm Heart and the these Wendigo items. This is going to be a very nice MI. Alright, so we have 11 Wendigo Spirits, 2 Manticore Eyes. Let's actually take a look. So if we want Serenity, we're Fortitude. It's easy. Fortress. 3 Ancient Hearts. We can do all of that. Citadel. Citadel's 9 Ancient Hearts. How many Ancient Hearts do we have? 14. Alright, so we actually can craft Serenity if we get the Wendigo Spirits. So... that said, let's actually take a short... Okay, we have Devastating of Attack, which... we lose a little bit of Pierce Res, but... we get a bunch of OA. We lose some health. This is Impervious of Mending, which we don't really need Pierce or Poison Res. This also gives us Chaos, I guess, which we also don't need, but oh well.
I'm very glad to...
Alright, so Stun Res is 74. Let's craft a Bloodied Crystal. This requires 4 Silk Swatches and 4 Hollowed Fangs. We're going to ignore that because these are from our shared stash, so we need to craft our own. And that's our Aether Crystal supply, not whatever we have. Fang. Resilient Plating, which is scrap, which we have plenty of. And that will get us a bloodied crystal, which we put here. And we're actually going to drop down to elite for a second because I'm going to buy some augments from Mammoth Resistance, which we haven't reached on Ultimate. Alright, so Forge Fire is the obvious. Flat percent damage DA. We don't really need energy regen. Let's see. Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna buy a bunch of Forge Fire. We'll replace the Searing of Scorched Runes, Living Ring. Alright. How much health are we gonna lose? Alright, we do triple Forge Fire. Our health is pretty low, but we do have the Locksmere swords. If we and I think we are going to switch to using the Locksmere daggers. Give flat health, and then we'll just have to make sure that we're not losing too much bleeding res. So this is level 70, but it's harmonious of attack, and it's really... I feel like that's going to be almost hard to beat. Alright. So... put a couple of Locksmere swords on. And our health is back up to 17.8. DA is 2,500. Which is an improvement. Now, we're going to try to keep farming Locksmere to get better weapons. Also going to keep farming Living Rings. I think this armor is about as good as we're going to get. I'm not going to try to upgrade this any further. This is fine. This is level 70, but, I mean, it is giving me +2 to Shadow Strike and % health. Alright, so we actually do have a bleeding res problem here. So our solution to that is going to be another bloodied crystal, which we use a bunch of Aether Crystals to craft. So I might have to do some more Aether Crystal farming as well. So we need Fang. That's 12 crystals. Silk Swatch is another 12. We also have options to do some other resistance shenanigans at some point, but I think for now we'll stick to just adding another bloodied crystal. Keep item. Throw the bloody crystal on. Throw a forge fire. Alright. So we've got 17.4k health, which I would much rather have more. This can get up to 26, by the way. We need Fizz Res, probably get it with shoulders, and boots are going to be a little more difficult because of the +2 to Shadow Strike, but I might settle for Shadow Strike being at 24 out of 26. But we don't need the slow res for this. We just need boots with movement speed and cold damage. Like Morganeth boots would be perfect, but good luck. You have to go to Tomb of the Heretic and then you have to farm it. I don't think I want to do that. That is an option. You will get them eventually. But anyway. So we are going to try to get more Wendigo spirits. I think the best way to do that, we haven't turned in this quest, so the quest marker will still tell us where these 3 Wendigo are, and they have a reasonable drop chance. We also have a decent chance of running into Pakla. Could see if Wendigo spawn from the totem. There's always a chance of that. But yeah, we want Wendigo hearts. Wendigo spirits rather. Shadow Strike cooldown is 1.1 second. This goes to 1.8 if we get it hard capped, but that's challenging. We need a very specific pair of pants to do that. And even though it is a blue item, there's just no guarantee. Alright, so we need 4 Wendigo spirits. We also probably are going to need Aether Crystals for some of the stuff we have to craft for this. And we still are on the search for Living Ring upgrades, so... Hold on. Just had to ban a bot. I don't completely ignore chat. I just focus intermittently on the game. All right. That's a healer. Everything you say is gold, Magi. What's that? What's that other element that's related to gold? Pyrite or pyrite or something like that. It's been a while. Master halls. Yeah, fair enough. Interesting way to say I'm ignoring chat. Not entirely wrong, but see, look, some streamers get distracted by chat. I get distracted by the game. It's just how it is. There's Pakla. Wait. So we do actually have another option here. Let me check what other crafting mats I have. But there is a smith in Malmouth Outskirts that will turn ethereal missives into Wendigo spirits, or ethereal mutagens, I forget which, but either way we have 6 of each, so we don't actually need to farm. It does cost some iron, and if you needed the crafting material for other stuff, it's not great, but this is probably the best way to do it. Old. Good thing I saw it was you. I see best something on something, and I immediately go for the banhammer. Live for the danger. Well, you were spared this time. I mean, if I do ban you and I realize I've banned you, I'm going to undo it right away, of course, but, it's just disappointing. Alright. Let's see. 55 Aether Crystals. I don't know if this will be enough. We might have to do some farming. Fortitude. Okay. Resilient Plating, Frozen Heart, Bristly Fur. Frozen Heart. Yeah, we got plenty of... Okay. So we need to craft 1 Resilient Plating. Fortitude. Fortress requires ballistic plating. It's ballistic plating. Ballistic plating is resilient plating. Alright. Okay, that's Fortress. Citadel. Leathery hide, okay. That's easy. last but not least, Serenity, which... Oh, we need a Killerian Soul. But in the meantime, Bless Whetstone. So yeah, this is gonna be fun, guys. We have to farm Killerian, and you know when you have to farm something, your RNG is just going to be cursed.
Safe storage, no questions.
But such is life. Alright, we need a Killerian Soul. We need to upgrade our Locksmere swords. We could probably do with some small incremental upgrades. I think we'll do SR for the skill and attribute points as well, but welcome in, G2. Yeah, we were Magifer's trying to get our attention by saying outlandish things. Not even... Thought it was a double rare MI. It's just a plain old double rare. Yeah, I know. Runic Bracers are not a particularly good item, but they are defensive and they are covering a bunch of holes that we probably wouldn't have in our build if we weren't doing SSF for gear. Right. Yeah, I'm not reading that, Badgie. Yeah, I agree. It's good to have items where you know, alright, this is at least going to be decent, and since it's more defensive, I can focus on other stuff. So I may have said something about being cursed with RNG because we need a Killerian Soul. That may have been premature. We got what we needed. All right.
I do the best I can with what I've got.
And we got the Serenity roll with stun res, good health roll, decent Aether Chaos res rolls. Yeah, that's very, very solid, actually. And then also gives us +1 to Arcanist, which will allow us to refund a couple of points.
What troubles you?
Let's see. This isn't really worth pushing past 11 unless you have a lot of extra points potentially in it.
Stay strong.
Alright, so that's 3 more points. Oh, this had +1 to Nidala's justifiable ends. That's slightly painful. All right, let me actually look at that because I did not look at the completion bonus on my relic. So we may want to get a +1 to Nightblade helm, or something that has Nadal's justifiable ends on it. Let's see, Nadala's justifiable. So Revered with Bismeal would actually give us a shoulder piece that has it. But Aether. Um, Alright. Okay, first things first, we go kill Locksmere. Let's try to get our weapons upgraded a little bit, and then we can worry about the fact that Shadow Strike has a 1.2 second cooldown instead of a 1.1 second cooldown. The other option is to hope that we get a random +1 to Nightblade helm drop. Actually, you know what? Is it Fet and Mask time? I mean, it's +1 to all skills. Okay, Encanters of Frostbite. This is level 94. Okay. What is... So it seems like it's at least a bit of an upgrade. Alright, yeah, I'm going to, Matty Boy, welcome in. It's going well. Just trying to get some gear upgrades to maybe be a little more comfortable for low car. We need to do SR. We'll be doing SR 14, I think, for the skill and attribute points. We also ideally get the skill and attribute points from both of the DLC. I think if we sort of speed through here, we might. Forgotten Gauze is generally pretty fast. And we can at least get the Fettin mask. So yeah, typically the Witch God cults have very good augments, and they are worth getting reputation with. The reason we are not going to bother doing that is pretty much one of time. That I don't want to take the time to grind rep with them. If we end up getting everything else we need and have some spare time before the end of the stream, maybe we will, but it's on the bottom of the priority list. That said, I mean, we still are going to see Totem and click Totem. Get some faction rep just through the Totem. Right now I'm avoiding putting a couple of skill points in because I'm not exactly sure, depending on gear, where we're going to end up needing them. No, I'm not in the mood to fight you, Kuba. Go away. Seriously, not now, bro. fine. I guess he wins. He's getting his fight after all. All right, let's go back to town. All right, so health, OA, Vit, elemental, slow rise, +1 to all skills. This does have CDR, I think, from the affix, but poison, aether, elemental res from the runestone. We don't need any of those, so a couple of options. We could actually go prismatic diamond, I think. Let me we may run out of all right, this requires yeah, we're going to need to farm some more aether crystals, I think, to craft a diamond. So in the meantime, we can at least let's go back to the spirit guide and adjust some of our skill points, since we now have a +1 to all skills helm.
What troubles you?
All right.
Stay strong.
Okay. So get Mavens to soft cap. Like
I sense turmoil within you.
honestly, we can probably 1 point his Chandras. Getting this to 14 is nice. Let's see. Yeah, more damage absorption is good. One more point in lethal assault. Get more DA. Shadow Strike back to hard cap. And yeah, I think we'll get this up, try to get this up to soft cap with the skill and attribute points we'll be getting going forward. And yeah, we still see our We actually have some gear which doesn't have any armor augments on it. Grim Dawn Endgame is basically Celestial Super Bosses, Crucible if you're into wave mechanics, and Shattered Realm, which is like a Diablo 3 Greater Rifts, kind of, I guess it's like Path of Exile maps in a sense. Okay, so we need a component on our helm. I think I'm just going to go Prismatic Diamond. Fet and Mask is just the easy. This is an SSF build. It's a +1 to all skills helm that gives health. Like, there's no shame in using something like that. Anyway, we'll grab our Aether Crystals. Hey, welcome in Tarnish as well. Alright, so I think the main thing that critically needs an upgrade now is our shoulders. Upgraded boots would be nice. We might just do one Tomb of the Heretic run, just to see if we get lucky with Morganeth boots. But I'm not going to specifically go out of my way to farm them. That's something that if you have infinite time is worth maybe doing. Okay, let's see. Okay, 13 seals of binding. Alright, so Prismatic Diamond. We need a Wrathstone, a Radiant Gem, and an Arcane Spark. Radiant Gem needs a Dense Fur, Molten Skin, and Rigid Shell. Now we need an Arcane Spark. It's all fine. Prismatic Diamond. Thought I crafted the Radiant Gem? Maybe not. Crafted, yeah, okay. Now Diamond. So this is going to give us a circuit breaker. It's also going to give us health. And this being this, I think used to have a 30-second skill recharge. They nerfed it to a minute, and they've slowly been bringing it back down. So, all right. So yeah, our attack speed is pretty much non-existent. So we are just shadow striking as much as we can. Drop a couple things off for the stash for later. Alright, so we got the VII mask. Like, our health looks good, our DA is kind of looks acceptable. Our armor's okay. Phys-res is absolute hot garbage. That requires basically boots and shoulders are the only way we're gonna get Phys-res. And like, if something gets us killed on this build, it's gonna be the fact that we have no Phys-res. So, anyway, that said, maybe we should do the, you know, SR could be a little dangerous for us, but we do need the skill points. So, let's see.
What brings you to my forge?
So, craft the Haunted Waystone. Yeah, no worries. Chat's gonna go off the rails, and I'm mostly going to focus on the game anyway.
The oracles of dreams. Oh, how far shall we go?
Oh, this is about the worst modifier we could have. Like, honestly, I think with our Phys-res, I think I'm going to not be foolish, and I'm going to reset and try to get something that's less terrible. Yeah, let's try this again. With 10% Phys-res, you don't want that modifier. I mean, let's see. With our luck, we might get it again. Okay, monsters have more health. Alright. You know what? I can live with this. Still, SR for a low Phys-res character can be pretty sketchy, but a low Phys-res melee character specifically. We just have to do the one chunk. Yeah, these guys hurt. Key here is we don't want to be too greedy. I'm by default incredibly aggressive, so trying to be a little less so is difficult. Trying to not stand in pools. We're almost to the... We can stand in pools briefly when we have mirror up, though. Alright, that gets us 1/4 of the way there. Alright. We do have some hit and run capability with the low cooldown Shadow Strike. The base game is nice. The kind of SSF for gear purposes is kind of nice too, because you know that you're not going to get perfect affixes, and that's okay. Because you don't need perfect affixes to play the game. Maybe to defeat insanely hard content, but that's very much the exception. Alright. Alright, Ravna, Durg, and Watcher. That's...
Well,
Yeah, it's both tarnished. Like you need better gear, but you're also investing way more time in each character to get what you want. Yeah. Alright, so skill attribute points. So one more attribute point we'll put in physique. More news about the expansion. No idea. I mean, we all hope it's soon, but we haven't heard anything about an official launch date, which I would expect if the launch was in 2 months, we would know about it by now. So I'd say it's at least 2 months out. Hopefully sometime May, June. And then we get a season in September or something like that. That would be probably ideal. Weapon swap is supposed to be better. I'm still probably not going to ever use it, but nice, Violet. Congrats. It's a rough drop to actually get. Yeah. I mean, other than the fact that you're playing Fizz AAR, though, it's fine. Physical Ravenous Earth. It's at least potentially interesting. Right now, the goal is to get this character from basically a fresh start to being able to kill Lokar, which is, for anyone who's kind of trying to build an account and have leveling gear for future alts, is sort of the standard.
Were you successful? Yes. What I must. Few mortals.
Acid Grenado is a season thing, yeah. There might be there are like some acid demo conduits, but they're not going to be nearly as good without the season mod stuff. I think there's an acid fire strike conduit, which Crab Turtle made a saboteur around at one point. At least I think it was Crab Turtle.
Well, the Eldritch Realm. I believe.
Greeting.
So yeah, that guy in the desert, the corpse we found, is his apprentice, and you bring him this book, and you can transmute items. Yeah, Grim Tools
Elaine was
on
quite
mobile
pleased with the
seems
materials.
not ideal.
Yes, traveler.
So transmuting is if you have typically like a piece of a set. You can like this helm. If you needed the chest piece, you could transmute it, and it would either give you the chest or the shoulders. So there's some RNG involved in it, but basically it lets you, if you have duplicates of one piece of a set, it lets you kind of create the set for a cost. And Tarnish also explained it pretty well. All right. Hey, welcome in, Max. How's it going? You streaming later, or are you taking a day off? Is Thunderstruck of attack good? Yeah, it is actually. Probably a day off, unless alright, well, sure we'll find someone to raid. You're installing PoE today. Well, good luck with the PoE. That can definitely be all-consuming. So what do Chosen Smalders do? Fire Lightning, Pierced Elemental. They're not great for us. Alright, so we'll go back, turn in this quest. Yeah, I'm the same with never having tried PoE 1. But I have sunk some time into PoE 2. I'm not particularly good at it, but I've had a reasonable amount of fun thus far. So in terms of getting the skill and attribute points, we don't have to kill Korvac, but we might as well. We are going to drop a portal here so we can port back and fight the messenger as well once we fight Dravis. Alright, we see Totem, we put the Totem. There's an Arcane there. We're honored with Dreeg. We were really motivated we'd get a well, you know what? Now that we have the excess cash that we have, I don't think getting the faction writ is that bad of an idea. I usually hate spending money on them except for key factions, but yeah, we'll get the shrine first. bug where items disappear within seconds. That I think I've heard of that. It hasn't happened to me, but I've heard of that happening. It's got to be incredibly frustrating.
See anything you like?
All right. Yeah.
Iron well spent.
All right. We are only respected with the other factions. Oh, oh God. 7,000 items. What the hell? Yeah. I've definitely had issues with item assist and crashing the game.
I do not know who you are. And I suppose I was to be immortal. And so he was when Dravis confronted.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, I think we get more RR. We may have one of these pendants already. Of course we portaled, so we lost our portal by the messenger, so we'll have to go back manually.
Welcome.
Alright, one more in physique. And Encounters of Frostbite isn't bad. But yeah, I think think for now we are going to farm Locksmere for a little bit. And I may try to see what we can do in terms of living rings as well. The devastating of attack isn't great for a cold damage build. Like, it still has some decent stats, but no Locksmere. Yeah, I think doing Sylvaria runs and any plants you find on the way, you kill them as well. If you have iron and you're willing to vendor farm, you can farm Vinylton, but vendor farming for me at least is an absolute last resort. What happened to Locksmere? Doesn't have a 100% spawn rate, so he didn't spawn that instant, so we're resetting. Impervious Fleshwarp Cask of Soul Warding. I mean, the Fetton Mask is giving us +1 to skills. I'm mildly curious. So, 27, 25. I mean, it is more DA, but it's not as much as I thought it might be. I think the Fetton Mask is the better answer for the time being. Alright, Locksmere should be dead. Aggressive of Shattering. Interesting. Alright, so aggressive of Shattering, it's less damage. Yeah, that's not worth it. Ascended Epaulets may not be the worst thing if we got a roll with decent health, but Yeah, it really does feel terrible on a weapon max. I mean, especially, I have 3200 OA. What I want is more damage. I mean, PoE 2 is complicated. Yeah, I can't really comment on D4. I'd say, from at least secondhand testimony, I think saying Grim Dawn has more depth is fair. Word of Pain, Brimstone, Possession, Renegades of Readiness. No Locksmere. Yeah, easy to pick up, hard to master. It's like it's pretty easy to get to, say, 85%, and that last 15% is can take a lot of time. Again, do not see Locksmere. Magi is an interesting Grim Dawn player. Harsh. Harsh, Tarnish. This is how many runs in a row with... Yeah. Yeah, I know how statistics works, guys, but 50% spawn chance for, I think, that's 4 runs in a row of not appearing. It's 1 in 16. Luxmere, there we go. Shield of Alacrity. Garbage. Thanks for nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Thing with Locksmere, sometimes you are tempted to mirror or cluster before he debuffs you, trying to anticipate it. Don't do that. Can be tough to watch your buff bar and just wait for them all to go away, but that is the safest way to fight them. Got him again. Here. Of Selile's Malice, you gotta be kidding me on that one. Really, guys? Hang on. Okay, now we actually have a dilemma. Because... Never mind, we don't have a dilemma. This is literally the worst possible Phys-Res roll. And the health is nice. But... I mean, it is more armor, it is more health and physique, which... But... We'll probably net lose DA. If this had rolled with 5% Phys-Res, it would have been harder to pass these up. But for 3% Phys-Res, I just don't want to bother. All right, let's get a few more Locksmere runs in. We're still using one level 92 weapon, which we do have an upgrade for, but nowhere near Nemesis with really anyone other than beasts. So unless we want to do SR, we're not going to get a Nemesis shoulder, unfortunately. I don't really want to do SR. Well, we managed to kill him. Without getting of alacrity, though. Wait, we have a Runecasters of Frostbite. Change of Nightfire is plus the Demolitionist, which is... And, alright, so... We lose health. We gain % armor. We gain damage as well. We gain OA. We, so that's an armor boost. Our health drops to 18k. I mean, yeah, it's for sure damage upgrade. It is an armor upgrade. It's hard to justify, it's very hard to justify losing all the, losing over 1,000 health. Like, I think I need a roll with HP on it. Locksmith isn't a bad source of this, There's plus the lethal assault, which is also not bad, but... Alright, Runecasters of Frostbite. Is this, this is level 94. And so let's see. Runecasters... Alright, so... Yeah, so Runecasters is flat Frostburn. Oh no, I think, the Locksmith Sword itself is flat Frostburn and cold. Let's see. So Encanters is flat Elemental, % cold. Yeah, Runecasters. Sanctification must be OA. This is DA. So Fizz converted to Elemental doesn't seem great. All right, well let's craft the Cold Stone, a Creed's Cunning, and put one of these on at least. Creed's Cunning. All right. Let's also, I don't know, Consecrated to Frostbite, I think we just stay with. I don't want to farm this boss enough to get something better. Let's see. Vigorous is % health. I'm curious how... Yeah, that's actually... Yeah, that's also like 1,000 health. And this is a lower level metal, but it's also giving us +2 to Shadow Strike. It's kind of hard to pass on. It's level 67, so it's not the worst of all time. We're honored with Bismeal. I think we'll buy the writ. And maybe we'll do a Tomb of the Heretic run as well. Right now, I'm curious. I mean, our cold modifier is almost 2,500, which isn't bad. And that's without Lethal Assault. Obviously, Lethal Assault will add to that. These could be 94, but I mean, it gives us a bunch of resistances as well as health. It's kind of hard to assume we're going to get better than that. So yeah, let's at least get to Tomb of the Heretic. You don't need to stand in poison for too long. You can mirror, and while we're mirroring, we can stand in poison for a minute. That's alright. Alright, back to Corvin Sands. This time we go south to a secret little cutout in the map. And once we get these 3 seals, we'll be able to get access to Tomb of the Heretic. Alright, so those are the first two locations. The final one is in this passage that we went through to get to Vanguard earlier. Alright, so we have the three seals of Morganeth. We can now open up this passage that's sort of southeast of the Corvin City Rift. Assassins of the Cabal. Assassins is obviously of the Cabal is not good, but Assassins I think is giving us the cold damage. It's also giving us +3 to Shadow Strike. We can skip the Shrine and Totem here because we're mostly just trying to get through the dungeon. If we get if we get very lucky with a drop in the dungeon, we'll be able to upgrade our boots. I think it's something like each of the there's probably 5 or 6 mobs, and each one maybe has like a 5% chance of dropping the boots. So this is typically absolutely something that's reasonable to get. So I won't feel bad using it if we get it, but it's also not something that you can count on. Yeah, at least get it your first try. Like it's reasonable if you're willing to run Tomb of the Heretic a few times. So item quality is sort of interesting in Grim Dawn, because you have these green items which are monster infrequents, which have skill modifiers, various types of damage conversion, and such. So, like, you know, this Locksmere sword gives us time off Shadow Strike, plus to Nightfall, which is a Shadow Strike modifier, and so forth. So, like, as a weapon, if you're playing Shadow Strike, Cold Shadow Strike, this is one of the best weapons in the game. It's going to be better than any blue or any purple or blue item. Typically, legendary items or purples are better than blue items. Green items, the monster infrequents at least, have the potential to belong on pretty much any build. There are some blue items that are just very good that are exceptions. Like, these are very good all-around defensive gloves for the health and resistance that they give you. And if you're playing a build that uses any of the 3 skills they have points to, they're even better. Like, this is just it's a guaranteed drop, since it exists every character on Ultimate by the Maw of Enacht. And its health and +1 to skills. You might very well get a better mask, but no guarantees. Yeah, like most of these items I have are greens because of the skill modifiers. But yeah, generally purple is better than blue, and green kind of depends on if it's a green that's useful to your build or not. So we didn't get Sethrus, which is the fizz damage one. It's not normally a huge deal, but given our low fizz res, I prefer not to fight. And apparently neither one of these guys wanted to drop their MI. That's kind of not cool. Yeah, no, I really like that there's a reason to farm pretty much anything, depending on what you need for your build. And, like, you can build around certain green items. But they're also very powerful legendary sets that you might use instead. Alright, so we're trying to find scions, which are also pretty dangerous. Wait. Well, they're typically especially dangerous because they can be in packs with a bunch of other mobs. But yeah, and these mirrors basically spawn infinite, you know, Eldritch Hound type monsters that come after you. Alright, so we've got a Scion here. Let's try to kill everything else around it, so it's just a one-on-one battle. don't really fancy fighting a bunch of other stuff with it. So as you can see, we're taking some damage. Tomb of the Heretic is a dangerous place. Alright, so no drop from the first two. Again, we're not really expecting drops here. It's just, it would be nice to get, because it's a boot with plus to Shadow Strike and cold damage and Fizz Res. So it really is best in slot if you're playing cold Shadow Strike. Alright. So this vendor here sells MIs. Can also sell recipes for conduits, which give interesting conversion options to enable some builds at 94. And you can farm him by going back to the prior level, waiting around for like 15-20 seconds, then coming back to him. And these things basically cancel your buffs for 2 minutes, and you use them if you're fighting for the kind of entry to crate, so that you don't get attacked by maggots. Yeah, we're again, we want to just get the Scion one-on-one without anything else. Got a mirror with Eldritch Hounds following us now. It's the infinite Eldritch Hounds as well, which is not cool. Alright, so again, no luck getting a drop. There's one or two more possible locations we might find Scion. But if we don't, we don't. Again, we're not going to farm Tomb of the Heretic. This is just a single run. And if we get lucky, great. Looks like there's no Scions here either. Sort of our last hope. And no luck. Okay, so this is the arena for Morganeth. We're not going to take any pots, but like if you want to potion up, don't do it right by the gates, because there are, this fight has some timers for different mobs that show up. He gets additional sort of shades of the Magi that help him. And that timer starts when you get right outside the gate, so stand back if you're going to potion up. Otherwise, you're just making the fight harder than it needs to be. But since we're not potioning, we'll just go here. This is the hardest, probably the hardest boss in the game. Well, the hardest boss in between campaigns and dungeons. Like, obviously, the Celestials are going to be harder. Mirror. Our healing potions back. And he's dead. Yeah, Gargable is the spikiest. I think Morganeth is, like, from a sustaining perspective, the hardest. But yeah, that's fair to say that Gargable is also a challenge. Yeah, and yeah, his volcano is can be difficult. But yeah, so that's Morganeth. We have Shield of Arcane Balance, which has some attack speed, has flat elemental damage, which is kind of okay. Incanters of Frostbite. Like, neither of these are, perfect weapons by any stretch of the imagination, but they are what we have. We have a lower level Harmonious of Attack Living Ring. It's level 70, but Harmonious is percent health and energy, so we're getting most of the benefit from that without upgrading it. Devastating of Attack, we might be able to replace and do a bit better on. We'll see. And I think the other thing that we're kind of would like to see an upgrade on is the shoulders. Arcane Balance, Gargable Ring, yeah. Alright, so we'll do Locksmere. And then some Living Ring farming. We may have done Locksmere already on this run. Yeah, we did. Okay. The Morganeth interlude, I forgot. I mean, for fire build, Harmonious Scorching is not bad. So the blue Slith Scale, I think it's Slith Scale Leg Wraps, the mythical version, is probably best in slot for this build because it gives +2 to Nidala's justifiable ends. Meaning we would hard cap that and get another 0.2 seconds off Shadow Strike. 1.1 seconds Shadow Strike is good, 0.9 is obviously better. So yeah, long term you are looking for something that specific item if you want to play super low cooldown Shadow Strike, but you're not guaranteed to get it. It's a blue item, so especially on an established account, if you're not SSF, then it's going to be a little bit easier, but fresh account, there are just no guarantees. Alright, so it's going to be in the third location, Silvaria. I really don't want to deal with those guys, but they can hurt a little bit. So you don't want to get swarmed by them. So, this is a triple rare living ring. If we were a fire build, this could be very interesting, but we're not. So, unfortunately, we can't really use it, but that is worth putting in the stash. Alright, so yeah, putting these in the alright, put some gear pieces away. Let's do some more living ring farming. I think we're just going to do a couple more runs because we're kind of at the point where, yeah, maybe Lokar is going to be a problem for us, but there's only so much we can really do about that. Well, yeah, let's do, maybe can get Drieg to Revered. I'm going to see how difficult that is. I don't want to take, like I said, I don't want that to be a super high priority, but they do have an armor augment that gives DA, which is better than unnecessarily overcapping resistances. So we'll take a quick glance to see if that's possible, but yeah, you have a bunch of bosses. I mean, when you don't have the faction mandate, it is a bit more of a pain. That's the only thing I'm kind of thinking about. And we are missing out on one skill point by not having finished Malmuth. But I'm not going to worry about one skill point. Like, that's better living ring, better augments is one thing. One skill point is not going to be what makes or breaks you. I think the shoulders are the big weakness of this build. Like, it would be nice to have Fizzres on the boots. Like, if we got a good cold boot with Fizzres that didn't have plus the Shadow Strike, I might take those as an upgrade. But we just... Granted, we haven't done a lot of totems in SR, but we also really haven't gotten that many great drops. Tempest of Readiness. Hello. Bismail Shoulders do, yeah, if I got to Revered with them. Which, that's like the one thing that I'm kind of... If I can hard cap that, that is a pretty decent damage boost. But yeah, I was looking at that earlier. So... We do have the writ for both of them. Yeah, Searing of Squalls is worthless. Fire prefix, lightning suffix. No thanks, Kuba. See ya. Alright, so let's see. Let's see how reasonably efficient this is. That's like my weapons are kind of okay. They're not amazing, but they're serviceable. We will get some XP just for finishing the campaign. I mean, that won't fix our Fizz Res problem. That is one issue. We're still gonna have 10% Fizz Res on this build. And I mean, ideal world, we get Slith Scale Pants, but that's just not a guarantee. Let's here. Okay, 11-4. So if we do the shrine and the totem, we'll get some more kills. Also have a chance to drop gear upgrades. But I'm not holding my breath on that. Father Kaimon.
It is too late. Turn back now. You disappoint me, Kaimon.
Alright, nice easy Father Kaimon kill. Got this Rift Gate. I think we are going to change out our living ring. Yes, Tempest of Readiness. Way more elemental damage. Little less OA, but way more DA. We lose some Chaos Overcap that we don't need. We get Bleed Res, which is more useful. Alright, Forge Fire. And we're just going to sacrifice this ring for the Bloody Crystal. Alright, so that's another like 60 DA, which is helpful. Our OA is still pretty good. Now, if we really want to, we have the option of getting Sacred Plating and Living Armor, which would give us a little bit more. We lose some OA, we get some more health, and we go to 100% instead of 98% absorption. I feel like in a lot of cases, if you don't need the specific resistances, like Living Armor is Elemental Chaos, Sacred Plating is Vit Aether. If you don't need these resistances, the Chains of Oleron and Second Scaled Hide is just a pretty good budget option. So I think we're going to stick with that.
After all
Again, we got the Fizz modifier, which is not great. You really want some boots and shoulders with Fizz Res. We're just not at a point where I really want to grind for them.
Come, little human.
Let's not forget our blade spirits before the boss fight. I mean, for a melee build, 92% armor absorption, if you can avoid it, it's tough to justify having that as a weakness, but avoid those meteors. But I mean, we did basically take them out as they were spawning, I guess. Alright, he's invulnerable and he has meteors. So I'm gonna get away from him for a second. And let's Korvac down. And the trap res, sure. The OA, I think it really depends on what else you have with your build. And something like living armor, even, for example, will give you some of that OA back. In addition to resistances and, of course, the absorption. Fishing Hat, welcome in. Alright, so...
Korvac's, his cult has been crushed. Even now, his scattered followers are being hunted
Oh, did
down
we not
and
buy the
eliminated.
Bismeal?
The forgotten god.
Okay, let's see, 12,000.
Welcome back.
What did Riggs... Yeah, we didn't really get anything too worthwhile. Let's, again, we have the money, so we might as well buy the Writ. And,
I've heard whispers. We have spotted a small.
So it's a small quest we can do. Alright, well we have to reset to do this one. Impervious Living Ring of Destruction is pretty nice, yeah. Alright, I think these Kaimon deserters and wait. These not the ones? Okay, Sunbane Oasis. Got it. There are 2 packs of Kaimon deserters. One is kind of relevant to a quest, one isn't. Evernath. Check all. Yep. Return to bounty table. And it's just Sunbane Oasis. And where are these guys? Where exactly are these guys? Oh, I think I see them.
We don't want any trouble.
All right. So let's see. We are 12-8. How much do we get for the bounty? All right, 700 for the bounty is not bad. Raynar, that's easy. Another
Track down. Good. Another nuisance.
750 for that. Infernal Wastes. Kibitz, welcome in. Yeah, Viley, I agree with you in normal that the scaled hide and armor absorption isn't as critical, but once we get into, at least once you get into kind of end game, but yeah. I would not worry about armor absorption in normal difficulty. I mean, I typically level with just a scaled hide in the pants or an ancient armor plate, and I'm wearing a low car set, which has no armor whatsoever. All right, I'm gonna drop a portal here. We'll go back, turn this in. See if we get either Sister Crimson or the other Guardian. I guess we craft a Spectre.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
I mean, since our build's basically done, I don't mind spending a few crafting materials for the bounty. Okay, we got Avernath again. All right. Yeah, we'll reset. Oh yeah, we're already up to like 15, so we're making reasonable progress. And like, you know, these bounties are worth like 600 to 700, which is pretty good. We run into some elites, we get a little bit more. Okay, go back, turn that in. Alright. So we're going to go here. And then once we kill this statue, we're going to come back. And maybe we'll get the Sister Crimson bounty as well. It's always nice. Alright. Yeah, alright. I guess we can kill Azelian. That's fine. So in general, if it's an easy to get to bounty and you're getting 6 to 7 times the rep for doing the bounty than you get for just killing a normal boss, I feel like doing the bounties is worth it. And then you can sort of supplement that by either killing elites on the way if you want, or by killing Sister Crimson and the 3 bosses in the ruin. Yeah, I missed a couple heroes on the way here. Alright. Now I'm just going to do the ruin. Okay, did not miss this hero. Red Knight's leg guards. I mean, they're fine, but we don't need them, and I have 1 million in my stash, so who cares? Alright, so we're at 18,330 for Bismeal, and we'll kill these guys. We'll see where we go. Let's not die. So that's worth, those 3 bosses are worth about 300. Obviously, if you have a faction mandate as opposed to the writ, they're worth a lot more. But yeah, each of the bounties is giving us more. So if it's a bounty that I know where it is and can get to pretty quickly, I'm going to pretty much always do that. Alright, 18.6. Yeah, Drieg is at 21. Varnox. That's not Varnox, it's just another random hero. These are all beasts, so we're not getting rep for killing them. Alright. Another runic bracers pair. I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, we'll craft another Spectre. Another 600. Alright, we've got the statue. I think we'll just kill Sister Crimson since she's here. I'm not going to go back out to see if we get another bounty for her. If we do, we'll just reset the game and do that bounty. The rep grind is definitely the least fun part of this, but hero. I mean, the other thing with the bounty is you also get the rep for killing the mobs, of course. Grimmaw can spawn in a few different places, so I don't want to really do that. Alright, reset. Hopefully just a couple more of these sessions, and we'll be able to get some augments. I think we'll buy the, since we don't have the Slith Scale Pants, we'll buy the shoulders. Don't ask me why we're spawning in Devil's Crossing. Okay, Corvin Titanivore, that's easy. Just want to kill the Arcane. Alright, that's done. So yeah, Titanivore is a beast, so we don't get credit for killing him, but... Or don't get rep for killing him, rather. Varnax. Okay, we were almost revered with Drieg. Getting close with Bismiel. This guy can spawn pretty much anywhere in the whole tomb, so that's a bit much. Okay, Raynar. That may be the last of the bounties we have on this cycle, but we'll double check. 22-4. We're getting very close. Revered with Drieg. Close with Bismiel. We'll reset. Sister Crimson. Kill Raynar, sure. So we'll just... Yeah, the next this bounty will get us revered. We're revered with Bismiel, but I don't really want to deal with the incomplete bounty in my quest log, so yeah. Done. Alright. So Bismiel, we can buy this is percent cold, poison, aether, OA, health, plus the Nidala's justifiable ends. Little bit of armor loss, but alright, look, we put those on. I just want to see this, so we lose health with this fairly significantly. We lose some resistances. We do gain a little bit of phys res. Alright, so pierce poison. We get a bunch more armor if we equip. Well, it's not really a bunch more. Like, as imperfect as these Soleil pants are, I think I'd rather have the health and leech than, like, phys res is just so pitiful no matter what at this point. Yeah, scaled hide is cheap, so we'll craft another one. And okay, so we don't have a lot of chaos res. Over cap at least. We can drop the pierce poison for a couple more aether chaos res ones, I think. And Drieg is going to give us some DA armor augments, which will make our DA a little more respectable. These Soleil ones with health and DA are better overall. But right now DA is more of a weakness than health. And yeah, Soleil would also give us pure chaos res as opposed to aether chaos. But none of these things are a huge deal. And let's take a look. Okay, we actually have an extra point in Nidala's justifiable ends, which we can put somewhere else.
I sense turmoil within you. Stay strong.
Let's see, what else? These gave us just Nadal is okay. Alright, so now we look at Shadow Strike, and it's a 1 second recharge. I guess we didn't have quite enough CDR to get the round down to 0.9, but it's still a pretty dramatic damage upgrade. And yeah, we are going into the Lokar fight with 10% DA. Again, not great, but can only do so much. We've done a reasonable amount of farming. We could do more, but there's always got to be a stopping point. Alright, put a couple more of these items in the stash. Yeah, I don't think we're going to die. Hopefully we don't. But just in case we do, I am going to dump about half of my blooms into the shared stash. We could also get some more attack speed if we went with a consecrated wrappings, but I don't think it's a huge deal either way. One other thing we are going to do, however, is like if you have a truly strong endgame build, you don't need to do this for Lokar, but so you can get a couple of different oils and elixirs. So we're going to take Elixir of the Drangul, which is OADA, and we're going to take Ugden Salve, which is flat health and energy. These recipes are sold by Vinelton, who's the vendor in Ancient Grove. If he doesn't have them, you can go to the next floor, hang out for like 15 seconds, come back and reset him. Eventually he will sell you both of these. So these are pretty much a guarantee on a fresh start. Alright, we got Sedina's Memento. We have a Heart of Darkness. We have Mythical Stormheart. So, Lokar is the boss who drops the leveling set. So any fresh start character, if you want to make alts and if you want to use Lokar going forward, you want to be able to kill him. So we are going to attempt to see if we can do that now. Thank you. What do these have on them? It's only Blizzard. It's not. At least it's not RR. But yeah. So this shrine used to be good for a guaranteed legendary, which was worth the skeleton key. It's a little sketchy now, so you can do it. I'm not going to bother though. There are 4 Riftflame adherents in this area. Each of them drops a separate piece of what's called the Dark One set, which is typically used for a Vitality Conjurer, though there are some other applications. So that can potentially be worth farming. We're just going to go pretty much straight for Lokar, though. And yeah, we sort of slide over here, find the root of all evil, which we defeat, and then okay, so the time warp thing for Lokar is pretty sketchy. These are not great mutators for Lokar, actually, for us. But alright. We're going to wait for Mirror to come off cooldown. And I don't think we can face tank Lokar with this build in its current state. Like, maybe closer to the end, especially with Mirror and Cluster, but I'm going to approach this a bit more cautiously. Like, we got Sundered right there. Alright. Yeah, let's, again, we're going to be cautious. I don't really know what this build can do. Like, our damage is going to be decent, but overconfidence is a killer. Mirror. He's over halfway dead. Again, not the most glamorous Lokar kill, but and let's actually cluster here, see what we can do in terms of damage. Okay, that wasn't quite enough. Mirror's about to be back up. Mirror. And he's dead. You did have the cooldown mutator is a little sketchy with Lokar, but could have been worse. So let's see. All right, so 21 hours 37 minutes. That's a reasonably long amount of game time. I mean, for basically 0 to Lokar, but I mean, that did involve a bunch of farming, that did involve some rep grinding and other stuff, so, like, can it be done faster? Yeah. And I think next build will probably be a little bit faster. But, I mean, you saw the damages there, and it's just a question of how much risk you want to take in the fight, and there's really no need to take that much risk. Max crit for Shadow Strike is 395. And again, it has a 1 second cooldown. Obviously, with Lethal Assault up, this is going to be higher. In an ideal world, maybe you'd get some slightly better conversion on some pieces of your gear, but and you do want the Morganeth boots, which are, I think, +3 to Shadow Strike and can get up to 5% Physres. If you have the Slith Scale Pants, which give you plus to Nidala's Justifiable Ends, then you can get some shoulders that give Nemesis MI soldiers that are going to give you +3 lethal assault, and those will also roll with up to 5% Phys Res. Good roll on that can be much better than this, but we wanted the 1 second or less cooldown Shadow Strike was kind of the objective of the build, so we got there. Yeah, no, it's a good idea, good run, sort of managing expectations, what to expect if you were really kind of starting out for the first time. And we ended up with a bunch of extra iron. If you're on a true fresh start and you have to actually buy blueprints, you'll probably spend most of this. But yeah, so you kill Lokar, he drops 1 of 4 pieces. The 4-piece set gives +1 to skills, 40% experience gain, so that's kind of the reason you kill him. And yeah, that's I'm going to link a final Grim Tools for this character. We technically didn't get the last skill point from Malmeth, but that's just a relatively minor detail. You'll get that skill point if you're doing the full game. We did Lokar, we did Tomb of the Heretic, which is arguably the hardest dungeon. And I think Korvac is harder than Theoden, so in terms of content difficulty, I think that's probably better. So that's the final Grim Tools. I'll be uploading, I think, this video VOD to YouTube tonight, although that doesn't do much for you guys. And then I'll be doing a sort of summary kind of basic things to know leveling a cold Spellbreaker guide, which will sort of go over some of this, also just go over some of the other options for a cold Spellbreaker, devotions, weapons you can use, and so forth. And Saturday we will be starting I'm going to do another fresh start like this. I think I'm going to do Pierce Infiltrator. Slight chance of Acid Witch Hunter, but Infiltrator is the more likely option, so we'll be doing that. Let's see if there's anyone. Is there anyone on who's playing Grim Dawn that we can raid? If so, does anyone have any preferences there? Alright, I can send you guys over to Lumpy, who's doing his first hardcore character still, and apparently has not died, so good for him. I mean, first hardcore character is always a challenge. So, Pierce Infiltrator, fresh start Saturday, and I'll see you guys then. Have a good one. Thanks again to Farnsworth for the resub and a couple of the follows and other things. Always much appreciated.